6 women killed in 10 days. What else do you need to say? Referring back to my editorial, today New South Wales Minister for the Prevention of Domestic Violence, Jodie Harrison, revealed that she hadn't met with the New South Wales Police Commissioner, Karen Webb. She's been in the job 7 months. She is responsible for the prevention of domestic violence, and she hasn't met with the woman who's in charge of the force that is meant to police it. Joining us now to discuss is Culture Break's founder, Francis Owusu, and Nova Radio's Michelle Stephenson. Thank you both for joining us. Tell me, what is your reaction to that, first of all?
Look,
I think it's
Michelle, you go. Michelle.
Sorry. Look, I do think I'm not surprised here. We, as a journalist, I've been covering this for a very long time. But what's really scary and really frightening, and I really applaud you for bringing this to everyone's attention, is that no one seems to be doing anything about it. I know it's not just a police issue, it is a cultural issue, and we do have systemic issues in our society that need to really take care of this. But the fact that the police and the minister involved are not having these conversations is just mind-boggling to me. I know as a parent, I have a young son. It's imperative that, we do take these things seriously, and I am very cautious about making sure that my son knows how to handle his anger. Explosive anger and shame really lead to a lot of these issues. But I think more needs to be done, and I am so sick and tired of the old tropes being rolled out and nothing is good enough and nothing is getting done. It's really frightening.
No, it is. Francis?
Yeah, look, it just goes to show how disconnected often that the politicians and those in the big house are from what's happening on the ground. And the fact that they have made that priority is a concern. But I would echo what Michelle's saying as well, that, look, the real issue is not policing. Policing's more geared towards responding to domestic violence, not solving it. And I think solving it at the root cause needs to be done at the community level to address the real systemic issues around what is the actual cause of domestic violence.
No, absolutely. But when police are your first responders, police confront this every single day. To not have had a discussion with the Commissioner, I think, is unforgivable in many ways. I understand what you're saying regarding at the community level, absolutely. But I think at the very least, a conversation with the New South Wales Police Commissioner, if you're the minister responsible for the prevention, is the least that should have happened. Let's move on. Millions of Australians, sorry, Francis, we'll move on. Millions of Australians are sitting on the edge of their seats looking at interest rates for next week. We did a segment on radio this morning, Michelle, and people can't afford eggs. Like, this is out of control.
Yeah, look, it is out of control. I mean, I'm one of the very few people, I don't believe in buying property. I am going to be a perpetual renter. I am saving my money elsewhere, beefing up my superannuation. So for me, it doesn't really fully concern me, but I do understand how everyone's getting so caught up in this. But look, the IMF chief just yesterday said that Australia really needs to think about raising rates on Melbourne Cup Day, because, we have to get in control of inflation. And the problem is, if we let inflation continue to run, those on low incomes are the ones in the long term who are really going to feel the repercussions of it.
What about you, Francis? Are you guys finding it tough in your household? What are people around you saying?
Yeah, look, I think the same thing. We find it very tough. It's sort of getting to the point where you start to weigh up whether your discretionary funding goes to extracurricular activities or just really trying to bunker down on just the core basics. And I think that's what many households are facing, that decision of, do we just keep to the core basics of bread, milk, paying the rates, or do we be able to do things like extracurricular things, in particular coming close to Christmas, like holidays? So I think it's just really tough now that this is coming so close to Christmas.
Yeah, for a lot of people, definitely. Now, a short clip, this is to lighten it up a little bit. Mind you, a lot of people do take this very seriously. This is of passengers fighting on a plane. It's gone viral. Take a look.
The whole trip, she pushed my seat. You seen it. No, she didn't. I'm allowed to put my seat back. I'm allowed to put my seat back.
Now, it's caused an etiquette debate. It's age-old, but always a goodie. And for the record, my take, if it's a domestic flight and it ain't to Perth, keep your seat erect. Michelle?
Yeah, look, I really agree with that. Like, short-haul flights, I never put my seat back. If I do, I put it just back a little slightly, just to ease my back a little so I'm not sitting right upright. And I think that's the polite thing to do. On short-haul flights, people are doing things. They're on laptop, they're reading, they're using their tray tables. So I think 100% short haul flights, unless it's to Perth. Let's be honest, that's not a short haul flight from Sydney. You really should be keeping that thing upright. I can understand the frustration though, but like we should be mad at the airlines. They're the ones who are making these planes smaller and smaller.
Oh, come on. Yeah, really good point. But personal responsibility, Francis. Don't tell me you put your seat back on Canberra to Sydney.
I do check. I do check if I need to do that. Not for Canberra to Sydney, because the time you sit down, you get them back up to Canberra to Sydney. But if you're going to maybe to Brisbane or something, or I think etiquette would say check who's behind you and just say, hey, is it okay if I pull my seat back before you do so?
What if they say no? What do you say then?
Oh, well, then I size up and go, can I handle the retribution that comes? No.
You size them up.